Hey folks, happy Canada Day from Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Scorn whiskey from Last Straw Distillery. Stay tuned. Well, hey folks, thanks for coming back after the intro. Just before I kick off this review on the Scorn whiskey from Last Straw Distillery, I just want to take a quick moment because it is Canada Day of Canada Way. So to all my Canadian viewing audience out there, I just want to wish you guys all a happy Canada Day. Hopefully you're celebrating with family and friends, celebrating safely, and the weather's good to you. And hopefully you got something good and Canadian in your glass today. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the review on the Scorn whiskey from Last Straw Distillery. I'll get into the overview of Last Straw Distillery quickly, just for those of you who aren't too familiar with it. So Last Straw Distillery is located in beautiful Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. It's a family and friends founded micro distillery known for its handcrafted small batch spirits, and it was established back in 2013 by Don Diamante, who transitioned from the family construction business to pursue his passion in whiskey making. And the distillery officially opened its doors in 2016. The distillery offers a diverse range of products including gin, rum, whiskey, vodka, all handmade. And they also provide custom distilling services, allowing customers to determine the mash bill, the cask, the age, and the bottling of their and proof of their own spirits. And notably, and I believe this is still true to this day, Last Straw Distillery is renowned for being Ontario's smallest micro distillery. So we've got some pretty cool craft stuff going on up there in Vaughan from Don and the team up there at Last Straw. I know there's a couple companies that source some whiskey from them there. Spirit of Us is one of them. There's also Earl and Aid do some sourcing from Last Straw, and they're doing some great stuff, some great production of craft spirits here in Ontario. So let's get into the overview of the Scorn whiskey and take a look at this one here. So right off the get-go, the name Scorn, the S into corn, it represents the sprouted corn whiskey that they're going to be producing here. So it's 100% corn whiskey. Comes in with an ABV stamp of 49% ABV, non-chill filtered, no color added, just the way we like it, or as they like to state on the bottle here, pure and unadulterated. And I really like the way they say that. Yeah. The corn that they use to produce this is 100% Ontario yellow dent corn, and it comes from a farm in York, Ontario. Again, transparent as all heck. These guys stated right on the bottle. I love it. As far as the maturation process is concerned, 3 years, 2 months in an American ex-bourbon cask, and then they finish it for 5 months in Portuguese port wine casks. Really cool indeed. With that, we'll transition into the presentation of the Last Straw Scorn whiskey here. This is cask 3. I don't think I stated that, but this is cask number 3. They've released cask number 1. Cask number 2 is still, I believe, in the aging process, and then they just recently released this a few months back for cask number 3. Presentation wise, really love the bottle on this one. I love all the information on it because you get so much of it. They, made in Canada, using corn from Canadian farmers, only the finest ingredients, pure and unadulterated. They give a nice little bit of information on what corn was used. So I failed to mention it originally, but it is organic yellow dent corn coming from a farm in York, Ontario. The aging process is all there. They give you a few little notes about the flavor profiles and the aromas and whatnot. No additives, no artificial coloring, as whiskey should be. You're damn right. And non-chill filtered, and some sediment may appear, but they just put all that information right on the packaging for you there. Their website is great too, has lots of information. I state this a lot when I'm doing craft reviews, especially from really transparent distilleries like Last Straw here, but I wish more and more distilleries would jump on board and treat the whiskey drinker with more respect. So guys over at Last Straw, Don and the team there, thank you very much. Really appreciate you guys treating us with respect and dignity and putting out some wicked products. All right, with that, let's move into the pour. A little cork pop here. And we'll give a little pour to the Scorn whiskey, cask 3, for my friends over at Last Straw. And they were nice enough to send this over to the channel, guys. I probably should have stated that earlier too. Yeah, Don and the team over there making some fantastic whiskey and being gracious enough to share it with YouTubers like myself. All right, let's go in for a look here. Again, all natural, unadulterated, pure, using only the finest ingredients. Stated right in the packaging. Beautiful amber, very deep amber there, with some orange edges to it. Again, probably used from the Portuguese port wine casks used in there to kind of really dial up that color from the ex-bourbon. But yeah, it's a thing of beauty. And I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. I can definitely see some sediment ripping around in that Glencairn there. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on the nose of the Scorn whiskey from Last Straw Distillery out of Vaughan, Ontario. Just see what we can get out of the nose on this 49% expression from them. 100% Ontario yellow dead corn, organic yellow dead corn. I stand corrected again. On this one, let's get into the nose and see what we can pull out of it. On the nose. So first off, it's got a lot. Nose 49%. Nothing too offensive on here. It does have a bit of an alcoholic note, but it's more of a bitter kind of alcoholic note, and it's kind of near the back of it there, but nothing that's going to singe your nose hairs, nothing like that. It really is reminiscent of a bourbon on the profile of the nose here. I'm getting some vanillas on there, some nice like vanilla cream, very creamy vanilla, brown sugars, and then it kind of has this orange, very orange zest, navel orange zest. Some green melon, and then in the back end it's kind of a chocolate covered cherries, and maybe a little bit of peach, and then a little bit of spice on the back end there, maybe some cinnamon. Yeah, so it's kind of the nose is very, it starts off very bourbon-esque, but then it transitions into something different, and that's obviously from the casking they're using there. You know, the Portuguese port wine casks to drive that flavor, I would think. But it almost has this reminiscent of almost a rye character to it, even though it's 100% corn. So yeah, very interesting nose on this one. All right, well, I've given it my thoughts on the nose. Let's get into the palate and see what we can pull out of this Scorn whiskey cask number 3 from Last Straw Distillery out of Vaughan, Ontario. So hopefully you're drinking along with me. Hopefully you got something good in your glass, and hopefully it is Canadian. So cheers to your health, and happy Canada Day, guys. Here we go. Very flavorful. Lots going on. So, liquid wise, medium. Like it's not the thickest, oiliest, viscous liquid I've ever had. It's kind of in the middle there, medium maybe. Clings to the glass a little bit. Doesn't really cling to your mouth too long, but it does have a pretty good hit to it there as far as the profile is concerned. You know, nothing egregious at 49%. I'm drinking it neat here, not grimacing or anything like that. Nothing offensive or off-putting on it there. The nose and the palate are pretty close. There is some variances there. So on the nose, I got a vanilla cream. I get a very heavy, like vanilla sweet cream as the primary profile of this Scorn whiskey, and it's really like, you know, it's cream with vanilla sugar in there, and it's, you know, it's like what you would from Starbucks or something, if you get like the vanilla sweet cream cold brew, the stuff on top there. It really has that really like icing sugary sweetness to it there. Then you get into some burnt caramel, burnt sugar, brown sugars on there, almost like the top of creme brulee note going on, and then it transitions once again. I'm gonna go in for one more sip because I'm talking a little bit too much and I want another sip, so going for one more sip. Took a little bit of smaller sip that time. Yeah, so vanilla into that burnt sugar. Then there's that orange character. The orange character has moved away from the zest. It's kind of a bitter orange, but it's more of the flesh of the orange in there for sure. Then I get some cherries and some peaches in there too, into some chocolate and light tobacco notes. The tobacco note is very much reminiscent of like a Connecticut cigar, very light and very grassy in there. And then at the back end, it's got a bit of pepper spice to it there. And I will say, from that transition from the chocolate and tobacco into that peppery bite at the end there, it gets hot. It gets hot, it gets warming, and it kind of warms you up in there, almost like that oak hug you get from a bourbon. Again, Is it to compete with bourbons? I'm not really too sure, but I mean, you get that kind of oak hug from that, and it goes off a little hot there. It would probably lend well with a little bit of water. I have had it with water. I find the water washes out some of that peppery spice, which I actually really like. So I tend to kind of not add the water to it. But I mean, you do you. If you got some of the Scorn whiskey and you've added water to it and you really enjoy it, please put that down in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on it. I just find that adding water kind of more, it amplifies the sweetness and it washes out that pepperiness that is at the back end. But with that, let's get into the finish. I'm going to go in for one more sip here, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on the finish, final thoughts on this Scorn whiskey from Last Straw out of Vaughan. So, one more sip. It's got such a nice mouthfeel. Again, medium mouthfeel. It's not clinging on, not super oily, nothing like that. But it does have a great profile and a lot of flavors going for it. And it's pretty full flavor. Medium finish on this one. I would say, from the time you take the sip, dissect it and kind of get into it there, you're talking 30-40 seconds of good mouth time here as far as the flavors are concerned. Sweet on the nose, sweet on the palate, but then you get this touch of heat at the back end of it, like I said. And, I wouldn't go as far as saying this is a replacement for a bourbon or a bourbon alternative, because it's got its own character kind of going into it there too. But I do think it does have some nice characteristics that would, not mirror, but would be a definite tribute to a well-aged bourbon. That's a good way to put it. I think it's a tribute to a well-aged bourbon in a Canadian and Ontario way, doing it with 100% corn whiskey as opposed to a mash bill. But yeah, very tasty, very nice indeed. With that, I'm going to get into the value proposition for the Scorn Whiskey Cask number 3 from Last Straw. Again, they were nice enough to send this over to the channel for my review. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love the support of the channel, and love trying out some of your whiskeys. It's been great. This particular one still available online, $70 from their distillery or online. I'll put the link to their website down in the description below. You can check that out. But I think for $70, that's a great price for a truly craft product coming out of a very innovative distillery, innovative micro distillery that's doing some excellent things, being transparent, treating the customer with respect, treating the whiskey enthusiast with respect, and really kind of defining their lane in the industry. And they're producing some stuff for other folks there too, which I can definitely appreciate. But their flagship stuff that falls under their own banner, I think they do some dynamite stuff. I just saw recently they're doing a stout whiskey from Last Straw, and I would love to try that one as well. But for now, I've got their rice whiskey too, which is excellent. You guys probably saw my video on the weekend there on the whiskeys that you should be checking out. The rice whiskey took the alternative grain category for sure on that. This one here is fabulous, and for $70, you're not going to go wrong. If you like bourbon, if you want to try something a little different, that Portuguese port wine cask influence there, I think really just dials it up a notch and really takes it and gives it some length, gives it some character, and makes this one to remember. So yeah, there you go, guys. I'll leave you with that. That's my review of the Scorn whiskey from Last Straw Distillery out in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada, using 100% organic Yellow Dent corn from a farm in York, Ontario. If you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire for more content. And if you guys are still hanging around this long in the video, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Love coming down here the day before Canada Day, the day before Mini Seaway turns 6, and make a video with a great Canadian craft distillery from my home province of Ontario, Canada. So yeah, guys, I will leave you with that. All the best. Take care. Happy Canada Day. Stay safe and have a nice Canadian drink in your glass. Cheers, guys.